Family dinners used to be my favorite thing in the world. The smell of roasted chicken, my mom's laughter echoing in the kitchen, and the sound of my dad telling stories about the good old days. But that night, everything changed. I walked into my parents' house wearing a suit straight from work. I'd just landed a massive client, the kind that could change my career. I was proud, excited, maybe even a little cocky. I thought Dad would finally see that I'd made something of myself. The table was full. My cousins, aunts, uncles, everyone had come. The kind of loud, warm dinner that should have felt like home. Dad raised his glass and said, "To family," and to my son, who somehow convinced someone to actually pay him for sitting on a computer all day. Laughter exploded around the table. Everyone laughed, except my younger brother, Aaron. He just looked down. My stomach twisted. It wasn't the first time Dad made me the punchline. When I was younger, it was about being the quiet kid. Later, about how I wasn't built for hard work. He always said it was just jokes, but each one carved a little deeper. I smiled, pretending it didn't sting. But this time I saw my mom covering her mouth, trying not to laugh. That broke me. Aaron looked up and said softly, "Dad, that's not funny." The table went silent. Dad smirked. "Relax, kid. It's a joke. Your brother knows I'm proud of him." But I didn't know that. Not anymore. I stood up, muttered something about getting some air, and walked outside. Aaron followed me. "You okay?" he asked. I shrugged. "Yeah, I'm used to it." He shook his head. "You shouldn't be." That night, while everyone slept, I sat in my car and thought about all the years I spent chasing his approval. Every degree, every long night at the office, all for a man who saw me as a punchline. So I stopped trying. The next morning, I called my boss and took the biggest risk of my life. I told him I wanted to buy into the company, to become a partner. He laughed at first, until I showed him the financial model I'd built overnight. Within a month, the deal was sealed. I became the youngest partner in the firm's history. And I didn't tell my family. Months passed. No calls, no visits. Until one day, Mom called out of the blue. "Honey, we're having a family dinner again this weekend." It's been too long. I almost said no. But then I thought, maybe it was time. When I walked into the house that Saturday, everyone was there again. Dad stood by the grill, beer in hand, acting like the king of the backyard. He looked at me and smirked. "Well, look who decided to show up." "What's the occasion? You finally quit that desk job?" The old me would have laughed it off. But not this time. I smiled. "Actually, Dad, my company just acquired Johnson & Marks." The laughter died instantly. My uncle blinked. "Wait, your company?" I nodded. "Yeah, I'm one of the managing partners now. We're expanding, big time." Dad forced a laugh. "Managing partner, huh? That's impressive." I met his eyes. "You remember when you said no one would pay me for sitting on a computer? Turns out they pay me to buy entire firms now." The air got thick. Mom looked embarrassed. My cousins whispered. Aaron just smiled, proud. Then something happened I didn't expect. Dad stood up, walked over to me and said quietly, "You've changed." I looked at him. "No, Dad. I just stopped letting your jokes define me." For a long moment, he didn't say a word. Then he sighed, eyes heavy with something I'd never seen before, regret. "I guess I never realized how much I hurt you?" I didn't respond. I just patted his shoulder and said, "Dinner's getting cold." That night, as I drove home, Aaron texted me, "You handled that perfectly. I've got your back, always." I smiled for the first time in a long time, because sometimes it's not the big confrontations that heal you. It's the quiet moment when you finally stop needing someone's validation and start giving it to yourself. And that night, for the first time in years, I realized something. It was never about making my dad proud. It was about becoming someone I could be proud of.